Hi, my name's Bo and I live an alcohol-free lifestyle, and welcome to the Beautiful Savage channel, where together we discover how to put the world in front of us and alcohol behind us. The topic of today's discussion is we begin our day by focusing on gratitude, expanding on the first element of the Beautiful Savage method. So in this four-part series, I'm taking a deeper dive into the methodology that I use to become alcohol-free, and I've named that methodology the Beautiful Savage method. There are four different elements, and today we're going to look a little deeper on the first element, which is we begin our day by waking up with gratitude. Now, this may sound like an easy thing to do, and if you're listening to this, and maybe if you're really deep in the depths of struggling with alcohol right now, you might be thinking like, hey, listen, man, I need something more than that. That's not really gonna get me to my finish line of what I'm looking for as far as quitting alcohol, or maybe even the strength that you need to rise above it and move on. But these four different elements that I have created over time that have worked for me really do play on each other, and they systematically work together. And today I'm going to explain how that works a little bit so we have a further understanding. It is so important that we wake up and start on the right foot. And what I mean by doing that and waking up with gratitude is when your alarm goes off or when you wake up in the morning, it is so important that you create a framework for your day. Because most of us, we live in a very fast-paced world. Most of us are gonna get up, we're gonna hit the ground running. You already know your routine, and I don't really know what that looks like, but it may have something to do with like going to the shower, brushing your teeth, eating some breakfast, and then just kind of like chugging along with the day. And I don't really think a lot of people in the fast-paced world that we really live in really kind of have a meditative moment in the morning. And I think it's extremely important, and I'm going to explain why. And I'm also going to explain how. So why is this the first element in the Beautiful Savage method? Well, it's the first element because waking up is the first thing that we do every single morning. And it's important when we wake up to start our day on the right foot and to start our thinking in the right trajectory and to get our attitude right for what we are about to pursue and embark on throughout the day. And our pursuit is the pursuit of an alcohol-free lifestyle. So we need to make sure that we systematically have our mentality in the right framework so that our day will unfold properly. And if we run into any alcohol-related roadblocks, which could be like cravings or invites to go drink with somebody, or we're having a bad day, sometimes our day starts wonderfully and it doesn't end that way because things happen throughout the day. And some days are just worse than others. Let's face it, we have hard days here and there. So it's important when the outside world brings those kind of things into our life that we know how to respond to them accordingly. So if we wake up every single day and we have some focus and some framework to focus on throughout our day, then our day will unfold correctly. We'll be able to kind of navigate around those roadblocks that we might run into that might lead to drinking for us. So let's take a look at how this should look and how it's worked for me. So whenever I wake up in the morning, I don't really know what your process is. You may have an alarm that goes off, you may just wake up naturally, but whatever your process is, as soon as you wake up, be mindful of these four elements that we practice to stay alcohol-free. This is our first element. We wake up every single day and we focus on gratitude. We focus on what we have, not what we don't have. We focus on what the day can do for us and all the beautiful things and opportunities that we have in front of us, not the things that we don't get to do. I know if you're really deep in the throes of addiction with alcohol right now, your mind might go to what you want to do, which is go drink or get through the day, to get to happy hour with friends later, or meet up, or however that looks for you. But what we really want to do is we want to wake up every single day. We want to systematically focus on the things that we're grateful for. Now, why this is really important in our alcohol-free lifestyle is if we focus on what we have and not what we don't have, whenever we run into that moment where we have cravings or pulled towards alcohol, it's often much, much easier for us to kind of take a cognizant thought and be premeditative on our maneuver to avoid alcohol. And we do that through gratefulness. And again, that may sound like the simplest thing, like, hey man, like I'm really struggling with alcohol right now and you're telling me to just like focus on the good things. And that's exactly right. It sounds like, how is this going to help me? But I promise, if you stack these 4 elements together and you start working with each element systematically, they really are interwoven to help you become alcohol-free. And I'm living proof that this works. And I've tried so many different ways to become alcohol-free in my life, and none of them actually really stuck with me until I created this methodology that really has been beneficial and has kept me on the path that I want to be on, and that is being an alcohol-free individual. So when I wake up every single morning, what I do is I don't reach for my phone. I don't run to the bathroom to brush my teeth or get my day started. None of that. What I do is I lay there in bed and I construct an entire framework for my day. And then I visualize what I want my day to look like. For me, that obviously is avoiding alcohol and avoiding alcohol-related things that would cause any kind of pull for me. But like last night, I went to see a band that I love to see, a reggae band in Dallas. There are plenty of people drinking. So I'm not in a place where I avoid alcohol, but I know how to respond to it. And partially because of these systems and models that I have in place. So when I wake up in the morning, I think about the things that I have. I think about what I'm grateful for, and I think about how my day can look. I visualize it. And that visualization that I create for my day, after I actually get up and my day really starts moving, that's actually the trajectory that I'm moving towards. I'm moving towards the day that I've envisioned for myself. And then I just follow that vision. And that vision, and me following in the active steps that I'm taking to follow that vision, is what keeps me away from alcohol. That, and then coupled with the other steps that I use in the Beautiful Savage method. And I hope that they really work for you too. I hope that you get the same kind of benefit out of this that I get. And the interesting thing about these 4 elements is that when you really start putting them to practice, it's not only going to help you in your alcohol-free lifestyle, but it can completely help shape you as a person that is disciplined, a person that has self-control, and will just make your life better in so many ways. So in the morning when I'm thinking about what I'm grateful for, I kind of just count my blessings and I think about the things that I have that I'm grateful for, the things that I want to keep, the things that I want to hang on to, and I lean into those things. Because if you have had situations in your life that alcohol has robbed you from friends or family or money or health, then those are the things that you focus on. Those are the things that you lean into, and you kind of realize, like, no amount of drink that I can have today is worth robbing that from me tomorrow. And you also incrementally are making these improvements. That's another element of the Beautiful Savage method, is that we systematically make improvements on ourselves every single day. That will be in another episode. Starting our day off with gratitude will completely put you on the right foot. So like I said, you don't reach for your phone. You don't get on social media. Those things kind of start chipping away at your thinking. We know that although most people use that stuff, it can be a little unhealthy to our mentality. So just take a moment, just lay there and breathe. Breathe deeply, breathe calmly, think through it. The beautiful thing about gratefulness is that there are so many more things to be grateful about than there are to be negative about. So maybe even make a list for yourself of things that you're grateful for: the house that you live in, air conditioning, eyes that you can see with, hands that you can use and work with, feet that carry you from one place to another, your little dogs that are your companions and your friends, a delicious meal to eat, a bicycle to go on a bike ride out in the breeze. There's just so many beautiful things around you all the time. And one thing that's really amazing about this process is that I think that when we actually really start to count our blessings and we really start to focus on gratitude, it may pull you away from alcohol as well. Because I really do believe that for people that drink often, and the nature of alcohol, how once we drink, it takes our emotions and replaces them with new ones, that if you are on a emotional level that is kind of vibrating at a higher frequency, I think it's more natural for people that get in that mindset to just focus on the beauty around them more. And then you have less of a desire to kind of erase that and replace it with alcohol brain or alcohol in your system or drunkenness. So I really love to actually think about the things that I'm grateful for, because I just think it makes you a stronger person, a person of integrity, because there are just so many things in your life that you're focused on in a positive way instead of a negative way. So when you wake up in the morning, you're not reaching for that cell phone. You're not going to occupy your mind with social media or what's on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. Is you're actually taking some moments in the morning to just lay there, to breathe deeply, to think about what your day is going to look like, to think about the opportunities that you have in front of you, to think about what your day could unfold like. And if you're in a real negative place in your life, this might be an opportunity for you to chip yourself out of that place and kind of climb out of that hole. And I can tell you from a personal place, I remember when I was 17 years old, I was really in a place of depression in my life. And I got really, really deep into that place where I kind of felt like I was at rock bottom, I guess you could say. I don't think I could feel much worse. I couldn't sleep. I'd kind of become an insomniac. And I would actually lay there in bed and my wheels would just be turning and turning and turning. I couldn't sleep. And I was just in a dark place in my life. And it's so interesting because here I am now, so many years later, decades later, applying these same kind of principles to myself to stay alcohol free. But what got me out of that depression when I was 17 years old is I had been put on medications and they weren't really working. And I really, really just started thinking, because I couldn't go to sleep. I was insomniac, so I couldn't go to sleep. So I just started really focusing on gratitude. And I mean the most basic things, the things that we should be grateful for every day, but we overlook. And like I mentioned, my hands, my eyes, my feet, my breath, like every little thing that we're all given. And all of these things that we have, they're gifts. And unfortunately, not everybody is able to use some of those things. Sometimes in life, people lose their vision or their ability to walk or things like that. So I really took a deep, deep inventory into my own mind and into my own thought and into my own thought process of gratitude. And that's actually how I overcame depression when I was 17 years old, by actually applying this same methodology that is helping me stay alcohol free. And it was just, I counted my blessings. I was just at a place where I was like, everything seems so dark and negative. So every positive thought or positive outlook that I can have in life, it could only serve me. It could only make me better, because at the time I was like, this can't get any worse than it actually is. And then the truth is just every day I felt a little stronger. And every day I was taking these incremental steps to put me in a better place. And this is what I want you to lean into. And this is what this is all about. It's about creating that positive framework for yourself so that you look at life in a completely different mind shift. You look at life in a different mentality, and you're seeing the entire world through a different lens, and that's a lens of gratitude. And like I said before, create a vision for yourself when you're laying in bed, and maybe set your alarm like 5 or 10 minutes early. I would say give yourself like a good 8 minutes. Try that. Set it for 8 minutes early where you're awake, but you're not getting out of bed. You haven't taken the covers off or thrown your feet on the ground. You're definitely not reaching for your phone. This is a personal activity where you lay there, take some deep breaths, decide for yourself what your day is gonna look like, create that mental vision for yourself, and then live that vision. Attack that world that you've created for yourself and just keep going after it. So I know that just being grateful, it's like, hey, that sounds so easy. How's this gonna get me through what I'm dealing with substance abuse or alcohol abuse, or it could even be nicotine or anything like that. But you are looking at your day through a lens of gratitude, and you're following that pursuit and that vision that you've created. I promise you it'll work. It'll make you a better person, and it'll make you feel good as you go through this process. Okay, so another thing to add to this that I think is really important. Throughout the day, as you've created this framework for yourself that you're gonna live by, this framework of gratitude, create a mantra for yourself. Now, a mantra is like a little phrase that you can relive throughout your day, and you're gonna hold this mantra tight. So mine is actually the fruits of the Spirit. It's from the Bible, and the fruits of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And I remember as a little kid reading the fruits of the Spirit, and I just loved them because the fruits of the Spirit, they really and truly are what I think is a reflection of every good, wonderful person. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And often when I'm in a quiet place, or if something kind of rattles me, I'll stop, I'll breathe through it, and in my mind, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Those are the things that I want in my life. Those really are, to me, the fruits of the Spirit. Now, there are other wonderful attributes that people carry and people have, but they're wonderful ones to think about. And I hold the fruits of the Spirit close. It's kind of like a mantra that I have. I go to the gym a lot and I sit in the sauna, and when I sit in the sauna and lay in the sauna, I just kind of repeat it in my mind. So whatever it is for you, it could just be, I want to be peaceful and joyful today. I want inner harmony today. Like, just repeat it. Create something for yourself. Create a mantra that in those times of craving, I want stillness, I want quietness, I want joy, I want health. Whatever those are, just, it could be a couple words, but create a mantra for yourself and hold that mantra close. Hold it to your heart, repeat it throughout the day. Repetition is what creates a mind shift. Repetition is what will rewire your brain. And that's really what we're doing here, is we're taking a life or years of substance abuse or alcohol abuse, or just a relationship with alcohol or substances that we knew didn't serve us, and we're rewiring our brain through a methodology. And all of these different elements coupled together will shift your thinking into putting you in a positive trajectory and in a trajectory that will allow you to live an alcohol-free lifestyle. Now, this mantra is really important. Keep repeating it over and over. Make it a part of the fabric of your being. And this mantra will end up living inside you, and it'll become a part of your mental language. And it's really important that we have these concepts in our mind and that we have these positive focuses so that we stay strong, and it helps create and shape and mold our alcohol-free framework. Okay, so the next thing to do in our pursuit of gratefulness is to be mindful of your thoughts. Be mindful of the contents of your mind, what you allow in your mind, and how you think about the day. If you can notice that you're having negative thoughts, or those times that you're having cravings or desires to drink, if you can be mindful, take inventory, and then once you notice that that's where your thinking is, then systematically shape that thinking and move it. Redirect your thoughts, redirect where your attention goes, and maybe repeat that mantra for yourself. Maybe that would be a good time for this to jump in, the mantra that you've created for yourself. So it's really important where our attention goes, what we focus on, and to be mindful of where our attention is. If you're deep in the throes of alcoholism right now, your mind might be quite occupied by alcohol all the time. So this is the shift that we're trying to make. This is the rewiring of our brain that we're working on, is our attention, our mindfulness, and our focus. Remember, this is very important. What you focus on expands. And that's why I love using the fruits of the Spirit as my mantra. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Those are all of the things that I want for my life. So I repeat them, and then I let my brain do the work. Is it working for me? I mean, I think it is. I think it creates a person of love and joy and peace and patience. And I think it's interesting in the fruits of the Spirit, actually, that the very last one is self-control. It's almost like you can't have any of the other ones until you have, finally, self-control right there at the end. So it's something that I focus on, and I think having that direction in my mind really helps keep me on a positive mentality, and I think it will work for you as well. And as I mentioned, waking up and taking some deep breaths, and I just mentioned throughout the day, calming your nervous system down, taking deep breaths. If something rattles you or you find that you're really having a lot of cravings, really work on your mind work, being calm. A calm mind is a healthy mind. So take time throughout the day if you need to. And I've talked about this in a previous episode, but just sit up straight and tall. Find some symmetry in your body. Take the palms of your hands straight up, lay them right on top of your legs or on top of your knees, and just close your eyes down and take some deep breaths in. Heavy breaths out. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, and just calm your nervous system down. Allow your mind to think. We live in a really, really wild world. There is so much stimulus. There's so much coming at us all the time. You'd be surprised that sometimes if you get bothered by something, sometimes if you have overwhelming cravings, sometimes if you end up having one of those bad days that we talked about that we thought was going to be a good day and then something happened and it really kind of attacked our nervous system, if you just stop and just quietly and calmly breathe through it, you will get the strength that you need. Your nervous system will relax. And like I said, a calm mind is a healthy mind. And I'm talking a lot about repetitive activity here. If you keep these little systems, if you keep these little repetitional things that we're doing throughout the day, we put them all together, and it really helps you maintain being an alcohol-free person. Now, I want you to understand that if you put all these little things together, This is what creates an entire belief system for yourself. And these will shape you into the person that you visualized. But it takes practice, it takes effort, it takes cognizant ability to stop and to put the breathing into practice, to make sure that every morning, wait, before I jump out of bed, I need to stop and I need to build my framework for the day. I need to think about how my day will unfold. Because if you have an addictive personality, and I do, so I am speaking from truth, I know how this is. If you have an addictive personality and you do not have this framework for yourself and this belief system that you've created, then you will be walking this path through willpower alone. You have to have these systems and models in place, because if you don't, before long, you will end up somewhere with a glass of alcohol in your hand. You will wake up one morning with a hangover that you don't want, or worse, you may end up through alcohol making a mistake that you regret. So if you're watching this, you're probably on a path of trying to figure this out. So lean into it. Put these different methods into practice. Let it unfold for you. See what it can do for you in your life, in your alcohol-free pursuit. And the coolest thing about this is you are creating an entire framework and blueprint for yourself. Like I mentioned before, you're working on rewiring your brain. You're working on rewiring your brain to no longer crave alcohol, to no longer have a pull towards alcohol, and to no longer want alcohol in your life. You're beginning to learn that alcohol is not serving you. You're beginning to learn to say no to alcohol and how to navigate yourself in a way where this becomes easy and not hard. The whole point of this is to put the world in front of us and alcohol behind us. The whole point of this is to live in freedom from the substance. I know that if I can do this, that you can do it too. I believe in you, and I just want you to believe in yourself as much as I do, because I know what it looks like on the other side, and I know the direction that I'm going in now, and I want you on this path with me. You can do it. It's going to be good. It's going to work out so well, and you're going to really, really be amazed at the person that you become. And as you lean into these methods and as you lean into these processes, take note, take inventory of the person that you become. Take note of your shift in thinking. Take note of what gratitude is doing for your life and your mentality and how you think and how you view the world. None of this is going to happen overnight, but these daily practices are what keeps us incrementally moving in the right direction. Every day we get a little stronger. We get 1% better. We grow in strength and courage, and every day we open ourselves up to the possibility of what our life looks like as an alcohol-free individual. And we gain so much strength and confidence through this process. Gratitude will allow you to focus on what's important in life, and it will ultimately lead to you making disciplined choices, and that's what this is all about. It's about living our life to the fullest. It's about being healthy. It's about being wise with our time on planet Earth, and it's about living a joyous, harmonious, fruitful life. And that's actually our second element, which I'll talk about in another video, making disciplined choices. See, this is how these four elements all work together. Each element by itself might sound like something that's relatively easy, but when they're all coupled together and working in synchronicity, then you'll see that there actually truly is a method to this, and I live by it every single day. This morning I woke up and I went through the process myself. I thought about the things that I was grateful for. I actually had a really kind of rough last couple days, and it really rattled me. I knew that what I needed to focus on was gratitude. I needed to focus on what I have, not what I don't have. And I needed to put all of this methodology to work. every single day I practice what I preach to you guys. Every single day I put these methods to work for me, and every single day I get a little stronger and a little stronger and a little further and a little further away from what my life looked like when I used alcohol. And now I'm in a place of harmony, I'm in a place of discipline and self-control, and I couldn't be more proud of where I am, and I cannot wait to hear about what it does for you in your life as well. Thank you for tuning in today. We truly have so much to be grateful for, and I'm grateful for you being here. This is truly one of the most important decisions that you can make in your life, and I promise it will be so rewarding if you just keep moving forward. That's all you got to do. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please take a moment to do so. And if you know someone out there that might benefit from this message, please share with them as well. Together we're stronger. I'll see you out there next time. Strength and courage.